Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 18.
So it starts with Cao Cao, who's already got this reputation for being incredibly cunning, right? He decides to target Zhang Xu.
And his plan is classic Cao Cao. He makes a big show of preparing a siege on the northwest corner of the city, piling up grass, making noise.
Right, a feint, a distraction. But Jizhou, advising Zhang Xu, he wasn't fooled for a second.
How did he see through it?
Well, he'd observed Cao Cao circling the city for days. And he noticed something specific about the southeast corner. It had, like, a mix of old and new bricks.
Ah, okay. A potential weakness.
Yeah, exactly. And the defenses there, these wooden obstacles they called deer horns, were damaged. Jizhou figured Cao Cao, being thorough, wouldn't miss that. The northwest noise, just misdirection.
So it's about looking past the obvious action to the underlying intent. That's a huge takeaway right there, isn't it?
It really is. Jizhou wasn't just seeing grass piles. He was reading Cao Cao's mind, looking for the tell, the real target. And then he used that to set up this brilliant countertrap.
Okay, tell us about the countertrap. It sounds ingenious.
It was. Jizhou told Zhang Xu, get your best soldiers, make sure they're well-fed, traveling light, then hide them.
Hide them where? Inside the houses in the southeast corner, completely concealed. Meanwhile, he gets ordinary citizens to dress up and make noise in the northwest, continuing the illusion.
Oh, that's clever. So Cao Cao would think his trick worked.
Precisely. The plan was, let Cao Cao's troops start climbing the southeast wall at night, get them inside, then boom, a single cannon blast is the signal.
And ambush them.
A full ambush. And the result for Cao Cao was, well, catastrophic. His scouts reported exactly what Jizhou wanted them to see, forces massed in the northwest.
So Cao Cao walked right into it.
Completely. His elite troops pour into the southeast, the cannon fires, Jizhou's hidden soldiers spring out. Cao Cao lost something like 50,000 soldiers.
50,000.
And tons of supplies. It was a devastating defeat. Jizhou just completely turned Cao Cao's own cleverness back on him.
Incredible. So Zhang Xu must have been thrilled. A huge victory.
You think so, but Jizhou, he wasn't finished. His mind immediately went to the next strategic step, which pressed the advantage. He told Zhang Xu, quick, send a letter to Liu Biao. Get him to mobilize and cut off Cao Cao's escape route.
Okay, makes sense. Hit him while he's down. Did Liu Biao go for it?
Initially, yes. He was ready to move. But then, a scout brought news. Sun Ce's army was suddenly camped at Huku.
Sun Ce. Another major player. And Huku's a key spot, right?
A very strategic bottleneck. This news made Liu Biao hesitate. But his own advisor, Kuai Liang, warned him. He said, wait, this Sun Ce thing, it smells like a Cao Cao trick.
Ah, a feint within a feint.
Exactly. Kuai Liang suspected Cao Cao planted that rumor, or maybe even coordinated with Sun Ce, specifically to stop Liu Biao from pursuing him right after the big defeat. He urged Liu Biao to strike Cao Cao now while he was vulnerable.
Wow, layers upon layers here. So while Liu Biao is debating what's Cao Cao doing, he's retreating, right?
He is. But then there's this really surprising moment. As his defeated army reaches Jiangcheng, near a place called Qingshui, Cao Cao just breaks down weeping, on horseback, in front of everyone.
Weeping.
His generals were stunned, too. He explained he was mourning Dian Wei, his fiercely loyal general who had died in battle right there the previous year.
Oh, wow. So this brings up a big question about leadership, doesn't it? What does this show us about Cao Cao, especially right after such a humiliating loss?
It's fascinating. He actually halts the retreat, holds this huge formal memorial service for Dian Wei, offers incense, weeps openly.
Not just for Dian Wei, though.
No. Afterwards, he also honored his nephew Cao Anmen, his son Cao Ang, who also died there, other fallen soldiers, even Dian Wei's horse, this great horse of Dayuan.
So was it genuine grief, do you think, or was it a calculated move?
Historians debate it, Was it pure emotion or performance? But either way, the effect was powerful. It showed his troops, I remember your sacrifices, I value you, even in defeat. That kind of display can seriously boost morale when things look bleak.
That's a really good point. Strategy is one thing, but connecting with your people, that's crucial too. Okay, so he holds the memorial, then continues the retreat.
Yes. But then another message arrives. This time from Sun Yu, his key strategist back home.
Bad news.
Potentially. Sun Yu warns him. Liu Biao and Zhang Xi have now joined forces. They're waiting for you at Anzong, planning to block your retreat.
Okay, so Cao Cao's trapped between his pursuers and this new force. What does he do?
His response is pure Cao Cao, just brimming with confidence. He basically says, don't worry, my plan's already in motion. When I get to Anzong, I will crush Zhang Xu.
Even after that massive defeat?
Even then. And he did. He immediately ordered his troops under cover of night to secretly clear paths through really treacherous terrain around Anzong and set up ambushes.
So turning the tables again.
Exactly. Morning comes. Liu Biao and Zhang Qiu see Cao Cao's main force looks relatively small, maybe weakened. They advance confidently into this rough terrain.
And walk right into another trap.
Bingo. Cao Cao springs the ambush.
Oh.
Liu Biao and Zhang Xi suffer a major defeat at Anzong. It just shows, never underestimate Cao Cao, even when he seems down.
Okay, this is intense. But now we get to the part that really blows my mind, the two pursuits. It really highlights Jishu's genius, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really, really interesting. So after Cao Cao wins at Anzhong, he gets another warning from Sun Yu.
What now?
Yuan Shao, a major rival. Apparently, Yuan Shao is about to attack Yushan, Cao Cao's capital. This forces Cao Cao into a really hasty retreat. He has to get back.
Okay, so now he's genuinely vulnerable, right? He needs speed.
You think so? And Zhangxi certainly did. He wanted to pursue Cao Cao immediately. But Jishu, he says, no, don't pursue. If you do, you will absolutely be defeated.
He advises against pursuing a retreating enemy who's in a rush. That sounds wrong.
Completely counterintuitive. Liu Biao thought so too. He basically told Zhang Jiu, ignore him, let's go. So they pursued Cao Cao's rear guard. And they got crushed. Cao Cao's rear guard fought fiercely, inflicted heavy losses, and beat them back. Just like Jishu predicted.
Okay, so Jishu is right about not pursuing. But then what happens?
This is the kicker. Immediately after Zhang Jiu and Liu Biao limp back from that defeat, Jishu turns to Zhang Jiu and says, okay, now pursue him again.
Wait, what? Pursue him now? After just being defeated?
Yes, and he promises him, this time, you will win a great victory.
I can only imagine Liu Biao's reaction. He must have thought Jishu was crazy.
He was definitely hesitant. But Zhang Xiu, maybe he remembered Jishu being right before. He decided to trust him. He pursued Cao Cao again, this time alone, without Liu Biao.
And the result?
A decisive victory.
Yeah.
Zhang Xiu caught Cao Cao's forces completely off guard, scattered them, and forced them to abandon a lot of their equipment just to get away. Jishu was right again.
My head is spinning.
Yeah.
How could pursuing fail 1 minute and succeed the next? What was Jishu's logic? This seems almost like prophecy.
It does, but it was pure strategic calculation, understanding human psychology and changing priorities. Jishu explained it brilliantly afterwards.
Lay it on us.
Okay, the first pursuit attempt. Jishu knew that even though Cao Cao was retreating after the Anzong battle, his primary goal at that moment was a secure retreat. He hadn't yet received the really urgent news about Yuan Shao.
Right.
So Cao Cao would have put his best generals, his strongest units, in the rear guard. He would expect pursuit and be fully prepared to fight it off fiercely to protect the main army. Pursuing then was suicide.
Okay, that makes sense. He was prepared for it, but the second time.
The second time, everything had changed. Cao Cao had received the news about Yuan Shao attacking his capital. Now his absolute top priority wasn't secure retreat anymore, it was speed. Get back to Zhuchang at all costs.
Because of the crisis back home.
Exactly. And Jishu reasoned. After Cao Cao successfully fought off that first pursuit attempt, he would assume Zhang Xiu wouldn't dare try again. He'd feel relatively safe.
So he let his guard down.
Precisely. To maximize speed, he'd likely disperse his strong rear guard, maybe even lead to retreat himself, leaving his troops vulnerable and unprepared for another sudden attack. And that's exactly what happened.
Wow. That's not just strategy, that's deep psychological insight. He predicted Cao Cao's changing priorities based on new information and his likely reaction to the previous engagement.
Multi-layered thinking. It wasn't just about the battlefield. It was about Cao Cao's mind, his external pressures, how those would shift his actions from one hour to the next.
Liu Biao and Zhang Jiu were just utterly in awe. They completely got it then.
I can see why it's just incredible foresight. So after this second successful pursuit by Zhang Yu, what were the immediate consequences?
Well, during that chase, Cao Cao did get a bit of unexpected help. A local commander named Li Tong suddenly appeared with reinforcements from the mountains, briefly holding up Zhang Ji.
So even in chaos, things happen.
Right. Cao Cao was grateful, gave Li Tong a title later, but ultimately Zhang Ji had won that round decisively. Cao Cao made it back to Zhucheng, though.
And once back, did he deal with the Sun Si situation? The one who might have helped him by distracting Liu Biao earlier? He did. Cao Cao formally commended Sun Si, essentially thanking him for his timely appearance at Huku, and officially ordered him to keep an eye on Liu Biao, effectively recognizing his power in the region.
Smart politics, consolidating alliances even after a rough campaign. And what about Jieshu? What was his final advice in this sequence?
Consistent with his long-term view, he advised Liu Biao to return to his own territory, Jingzhou, and told Zhang Xu to hold his position at Xiangcheng.
Forming a defensive line.
Exactly, a defensive alliance. Don't overextend, consolidate your gains, focus on stability. It shows Jieshu wasn't just about clever tricks. He was thinking about the bigger strategic picture, long-term survival, and strength. Cao Cao, he's just returned to his base, Xuchang, after a military success.
Yep. And his advisor, Sun Yu, immediately asks him about this victory. He's curious, like, how did you know you were going to win against those bandits? They seem desperate.
And Cao Cao's response is fascinating, isn't it? So calm.
Totally calm. He just explains his logic. He knew he'd win because the bandits had, and this is the key quote, no return route and would fight to the death.
Ah, so it wasn't a guess.
Not at all. It was a deep understanding of their desperation. He knew their backs were against the wall.
And his strategy wasn't just brute force, which you might expect. He actually says he aimed to slowly lure them while secretly planning.
Exactly. It shows that calculated approach. He wasn't intimidated by their fight-to-the-death mentality. He actually used it.
It's like understanding your opponent better than they understand themselves, using their desperation as a weakness.
You nailed it. And that calm foresight, that really sets the stage for what happens next, because right after this, Guojia arrives.
Guojia, another key advisor, and he brings a letter.
Yeah, an unexpected letter from Yuan Shao. Now, Yuan Shao is a major rival, very powerful.
Yeah.
The letter officially asks Cao Cao for grain and troops. Yuan Shao says he needs them to attack Gongsunzan up north.
But Cao Cao smells a rat, doesn't he?
Instantly. His gut tells him Yuan Shao's real plan is to attack him, to attack Xuchang. It's a classic misdirection.
Ask for help with one enemy while you're really targeting the person you're asking.
Precisely. But here's Cao Cao's problem. He wants to deal with Yuan Shao, but he says his strength is insufficient. He knows Yuan Shao has more troops, more resources on paper.
So the big question, how do you take on someone who looks stronger?
And this is where we get the central aha moment of this whole section. Guojia steps up with this absolutely pivotal analysis.
The famous 10 strengths, 10 weaknesses.
That's the one. It's a masterclass in, well, competitive analysis, breaking down why Cao Cao shouldn't fear Yuan Shao despite his apparent strength.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's break it down. Start with Yuan Shao's weaknesses. What did Guojia see?
Right, so the first one is excessive rituals and ceremonies. Basically, too much pomp, not enough substance, focusing on appearances over action.
In wartime, that seems counterproductive.
Very. It wastes time and resources. Then, Guojia says Yuan Shao acts rebelliously, sort of against the proper order of things, and governs with excessive leniency, meaning he's too soft, letting problems fester.
Okay, so style over substance and a bit weak on governance. What else?
He's outwardly tolerant, but inwardly jealous. That's dangerous. And crucially, he relies heavily on relatives. Nepotism, essentially. Not picking the best people for the job.
Ah, putting family ahead of talent. That rarely ends well.
Exactly. Plus, Guojia points out he has many plans, but little decision-making. He hesitates. He's more interested in reputation and fame than results.
Sounds like analysis paralysis. And only caring about people nearby.
Yeah, cares for those close by, neglects those far away. Short-sighted. Plus, he listens to slander and is easily confused, easily manipulated by gossip.
That's a big vulnerability for a leader.
Huge. And his laws, Guojia says he confuses right and wrong in his laws. So, no clear justice system, which breeds resentment.
And the last one.
Probably the most damning for a warlord. He shows off with empty displays, lacks understanding of military essentials, all flash, no real grasp of warfare fundamentals.
Wow, that's a thorough takedown. But Guojia doesn't just stop there, right? He contrasts this with Cao Cao's strengths.
Exactly. Direct counterpoints. So where Yuan Shao is about ceremony, Cao Cao acts naturally and without pretense.
Authentic.
Right. Where Yuan Shao acts rebelliously, Cao Cao acts righteously and in accordance with the times. He's seen as more legitimate.
Okay.
And governance. Cao Cao governs with strictness, correcting laxity. He's fixing problems. He's simple on the outside, but clear-sighted within.
And the big one about personnel.
This is key. Cao Cao uses people based only on talent. Meritocracy. Not who you know, but what you can do.
Big difference. And decision-making.
Cao Cao acts quickly on good strategies once decided. No dithering. He treats people with utmost sincerity and shows comprehensive benevolence, thinking about the bigger picture.
Doesn't sound like someone swayed by gossip either.
Nope. Gojia says he's not swayed by slander and maintains clear and strict laws. People know where they stand.
And militarily.
He defeats many with few and uses troops like a divine being. High praise, but it speaks to his actual military skill, unlike Yuan Shao's empty displays.
So the core insight is, it's not just about numbers.
Exactly. It's about character, leadership style, decisiveness, strategic thinking. Gojia argues these intangible strengths outweigh Yuan Shao's visible resources.
And the impact of this analysis is immediate, right? Sun Yu hears this and...
Shun Yu completely agrees, instantly. He says despite Yuan Shao's numbers, he's not to be feared. It just flips a perspective entirely.
Okay, so Yuan Shao is maybe not the immediate existential threat he seemed. What does Guoji advise then?
He pivots immediately. He says, look, the real, heartfelt, great hidden danger right now is Lu in Zuzhou.
Lu Bu, the fearsome warrior, but maybe not the sharpest strategist himself.
That's often the portrayal. Gojia sees him as the immediate threat that needs dealing with first.
Why first? Why not Yuan Shao while he's distracted?
Because Gojia lays out the domino effect. He says if Cao Cao attacks Yuan Shao first, Lu Bu will surely take advantage of the emptiness to attack Su Cheng. He'll stab you in the back while you're busy elsewhere.
The classic two-front war problem. Makes sense. Neutralize the immediate opportunistic threat before tackling the bigger, slower one.
Precisely. It's brilliant strategic prioritization. And Cao Cao, he sees the wisdom in it immediately, agrees right away.
Decisive leadership, acting on good advice. Okay, so the plan is Lu Bu first. But it gets even more intricate, doesn't it, with Liu Bei?
Oh, yeah. Sun Yu adds another layer. He advises Cao Cao, before you move troops against Lu Bu, send a messenger to Liu Bei first. Wait for his reply.
Liu Bei, who is technically allied with Cao Cao, but also kind of a rival, and currently positioned near Lu Bu. Why involve him?
It sets up this incredible web of deceit. Cao Cao runs with it beautifully. First, he sends that letter to Liu Bei, basically sounding him out, bring him into the loop nominally.
Okay.
But then, get this. He sends Yuan Shao's envoy back. And he doesn't just send him back empty-handed. He officially confirms Yuan Shao in all these grand titles. Grand General, Grand Tutor, Governor of 4 provinces.
Wow, feeding his ego big time, making him feel important and secure.
Exactly, giving him titles, official recognition, playing right into that weakness Gojia identified, his love for reputation and fame.
And then comes the secret part.
The kicker! He sends a secret letter to Yuan Shao, promising to help him against Gong Shenzan. Pure manipulation.
Yuan Shao is completely fooled.
Hook, line, and sinker. The text says he's greatly pleased, he feels validated, thinks Cao Cao is supporting him, and charges off to attack Gong Shenzan, completely unaware he's just been played.
Masterful.
Yeah.
Using an enemy's own flaws against them to neutralize them temporarily, but risky, surely.
Definitely a gamble, but it was based on that deep understanding of Yuan Shao's character. They banked on his vanity blinding him, and they were right.
Okay, so while Cao Cao is weaving this web, what's happening with Lu Bu in Zuzhou, the target?
Well, Lu Bu is basically basking in flattery, particularly from a guy named Chen Gi and his son. They're constantly praising him, telling him how great he is.
Uh-oh. That sounds like trouble brewing.
Big trouble, because Chen Gong, who is actually one of Lu Bu's most loyal and clear-sighted advisors, sees right through it. He's deeply uncomfortable.
How's he do?
He pulls Lu Bu aside privately, warns him, says Chen Gi and his son's intentions are unfathomable, that Lu Bu needs to be wary of them, a direct, loyal warning.
And Lu Bu's reaction is predictable, maybe.
Tragically predictable. He flies into a rage, accuses Chen Gong of baseless slander, of trying to hurt these good people who are flattering him. He completely dismisses the warning.
Oof. Choosing the comforting lies over the hard truth. That's the crucial misstep, isn't it?
It's the fatal flaw here, trusting flatterers over loyal counsel. You have to wonder, is it pure arrogance? Insecurity? Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, it's a classic trap. Leaders getting surrounded by yes men, the flattery feels good, the truth feels like an attack.
And the quiet voice of loyalty, like Chen Gong's, is the first thing to get shut down by ego. It's a tough lesson.
So Chen Gong is just left, despairing.
Completely. His loyalty is rejected. He sees disaster coming, but he feels stuck. He can't abandon Lu Bu, but he's also ashamed. The text says he's just depressed all day, powerless.
But then things take a turn. He spots something.
Yeah, the stage is set for the big reveal. Chen Gong goes out hunting, maybe just to clear his head, and he sees a messenger riding really fast.
His instincts kick in.
Immediately, something feels off. He ditches the hunt, intercepts the rider, searches him.
And he finds
the smoking gun, a secret letter.
Yeah.
From Liu Bei to Cao Cao.
No, the one Cao Cao sent earlier?
Yeah.
Or Liu Bei's reply.
Liu Bei's reply, and the contents are explosive for Liu Bu.
What does it say?
Liu Bei basically writes, "Got your orders to attack Liu Bu. Working on it day and night. But my forces are small, don't want to mess up. If you send your main army, I'll be your vanguard. I'm getting ready, just waiting for your command."
Oh, man. Confirmation of the plot. How does Liu Bu react?
Predictably. Explosively. He greatly curses, shouts, "Cao Cao, how dare you?" And in his rage, he just beheads the poor messenger on the spot.
The trap is sprung. The deception is out. Liu Bu knows he's cornered.
Yep. And his reaction is immediate, if maybe desperate. He launches a counteroffensive.
What's the plan?
It's multi-pronged.
Yeah.
He sends Chen Gong, despite having ignored his advice earlier, and Zhang Ba to team up with some bandits, the Taishan bandits.
Using bandits. Okay. To do what?
To try and seize territory back in Yansu, Cao Cao's heartland, hit him where he lives.
Okay. One prom. What else?
At the same time, he sends two of his best generals, Gao Shun and Zhang Liao, to directly attack Liu Bei in Pei City. Payback for the betrayal,
Makes sense.
a tacti accomplice, and a third prong. He sends Song Jian and Wei Zhu to attack Ru and Ying, strategic cities to the west, trying to open another front, maybe relieve pressure.
And Liu Bu himself.
He commands the Central Army, ready to reinforce whichever attack needs help. He's hitting back hard everywhere at once.
But it feels reactive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like scrambling after discovering the trap, not a proactive strategy.
Very much so. It's a desperate lashing out, born from the revelation of Cao Cao's intricate plan. With Liu Bei, he's in Shaopei, and facing, well, an imminent attack. Who's knocking at his door, and what's his first move?
Right, so it's Liu Bu's general, Gao Shun, who arrives with troops.
Ah, Gao Shun.
Yeah, and he's accusing Liu Bei quite directly of siding with Cao Cao.
So high stakes immediately. Does Liu Bei panic?
No, not at all. That's what's interesting. He stays calm, consults his advisors pretty much straight away, and starts setting up the city's defense.
Okay, how does he organize that? Who goes where? I remember Mi Zhu and Mi Feng have a specific role.
That's right. It shows how quickly he assessed things. Liu Bei himself takes the south gate, Sun Qing gets the north, Guan Yu holds the west, and Zhang Fei, naturally the east.
Okay.
And the detail about Mi Zhu and Mi Feng, yeah, they guard the center. Specifically, they're protecting Liu Bei's second wife, who is Mi Zhu's sister.
Ah, okay. So family ties are crucial here.
Absolutely. It really highlights the personal stakes, and the reliance on trusted family connections in a crisis like this. It shows pragmatic leadership, really, balancing the military needs with personal security.
Right, pragmatic is a good word. So the battle for Shaopei begins, and we get some really fascinating character moments almost immediately, especially Guan Yu, right, at the West Gate.
Yes, exactly. He's facing Zhang Liao.
A tough opponent.
Definitely. But Guan Yu doesn't just charge in. He does something different. He kind of appeals to Zhang Liao's character.
How does that work? What does he say? And how does Zhang Liao react?
Well, this gets at a really interesting question, doesn't it? How much do personal virtues, reputations matter in these military encounters?
Yeah.
Guan Yu apparently observed Zhang Liao's non-vulgar demeanor, as the text puts it. He sensed Zhang Liao had a loyal and righteous spirit.
So he didn't see him just as an enemy soldier.
Precisely. So instead of fighting, Guan Yu uses correct words, basically appealing to Zhang Liao's conscience.
And Zhang Liao.
He just lowers his head, doesn't speak, and then he retreats without engaging.
Wow.
Yeah. It really shows Guan Yu's deep understanding of, well, human nature and his ability to influence people without resorting to brute force. It's quite something.
It really is. But here's where it gets really interesting. Classic Three Kingdoms style. Zhang Fei, being Zhang Fei, he sees Zhang Liao retreating and wants to chase him down, right? What happens then? And what does Guan Yu tell his, let's say, enthusiastic brother?
Yes. Enthusiastic is one word for it. Guan Yu immediately calls Zhang Fei back into the city, stops him right there.
And Zhang Fei must have protested.
Of course. He's like, why shouldn't we pursue? He's obviously afraid. Standard Zhang Fei.
Right.
But Guan Yu then reveals his actual assessment. He tells Zhang Fei that Zhang Liao's martial skill is, and I quote, no less than yours or mine.
Whoa. High praise.
Very high praise. And Guan Yu says the retreat wasn't fear. It was because Zhang Liao felt a sense of self-regret, basically, sparked by Guan Yu's words.
That's incredibly perceptive.
It is. It's a subtle moment, but it's powerful. It shows Guan Yu's strategic thinking goes beyond just the battlefield tactics.
Yeah.
He reads motivations. He understands the person behind the armor.
Okay, so while all this drama is unfolding at the gates, Liu Bei isn't just sitting tight. He's also trying to get back up, right? He sent someone for help.
Yes, absolutely. He's playing multiple angles. He sent Jian Yang, who's a longtime compatriot advisor.
And where did Jian Yang go to Cao Cao?
Exactly. He rides all the way to Judu to plead Liu Bei's case to Cao Cao.
And how does Cao Cao take the news? What's his reaction?
Well, Cao Cao immediately gathers his own advisors, shows how seriously he took it.
Who does he talk to?
Rizhu Yu and Gojia, his key strategists. Cao Cao's initial worry, actually, was about Liu Biao and Zhang Xi possibly interfering.
Makes sense. Potential threats in his rear.
Right. But Zun Yu reassures him,
Yes.
says they were recently defeated and probably won't act. Gojia, though, he really stresses the urgency.
What's Guoji's advice?
Gojia says they need to hit Lu Bu now, quickly, before Lu Bu can properly ally himself with Yuan Shu, because if that happens, Lu Bu becomes much, much harder to deal with, a bigger threat.
I see. Solidify alliances, become stronger.
Exactly, and Cao Cao listens. He adopts Guojia's advice. It shows his decisiveness, and that strategic foresight cut down a threat before it grows too big.
Okay, so Cao Cao is convinced he doesn't waste time. He sends out a vanguard force. And this is where we get one of the most, well, frankly, astonishing moments in the whole novel.
Yo, absolutely legendary.
Who leads this vanguard? And what happens when they first clash with Lu Bu's forces?
Xiahou Dun leads the vanguard.
Yeah.
A force of 50,000, so quite substantial.
A major commitment.
Yes. Now, before the main clash, Lu Bu sends out some officers, Hu Cheng, Hao Meng, and Cao Jing, to reinforce Gao Shun, who's still pressing Liu Bei.
Okay, and Liu Bei.
Liu Bei also moves.
Uh-huh.
He takes Guan Yu and Zhang Fei out of Zhaopei City itself, sets up camps nearby, sort of preparing to support Cao Cao's incoming army.
Right, positioning themselves.
So the stage is set.
Huh?
Xiahou Dun, leading Cao Cao's force, rides out bravely to challenge Gao Shun directly.
The same Gao Shun who was just besieging Liu Bei.
The very same. They have this really fierce duel. It goes on for, the text says, 4 or 5 dozen exchanges. So a serious fight.
Wow.
Eventually, Gao Shun is forced to retreat. Xiahou Dun wins the duel.
Okay, so far so good for Cao's vanguard. But you said astonishing.
Right, because what happens next?
Yeah.
Well, you almost can't believe it when you read it. As Xiahou Dun is pursuing the retreating Gao Shun, an enemy archer, this Cao Jing figure, takes a shot.
Okay, an arrow hits him.
Hits him right in the left eye.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Gets worse, or, well, more intense. Xiahou Dun yells out, pulls the arrow out, and his eyeball comes out with the arrow.
No, seriously.
Seriously. And then, this is the truly legendary part, he exclaims something like, "Father's essence, mother's blood cannot be discarded."
Meaning his eye.
Meaning his eye. It's
That's
like
right.
he eats it.
He eats his own eye.
He eats his own eye. Right there on the battlefield.
I have no words. That's incredible. What does that even signify?
It's just this incredibly visceral display, isn't it? It speaks volumes about warrior culture, about its extreme dedication. It's seen as this ultimate act of filial piety, respecting his parents, his lineage, combined with insane martial pride and just unbelievable resolve. He turns this horrific injury into this moment of just awe-inspiring defiance.
Awe-inspiring and maybe terrifying defiance.
Yeah.
So what happens right after that? What does he do to the archer, Cao Jing?
Fueled by this, well, unbelievable rage and pain and maybe adrenaline, he immediately charges Cao Jing, doesn't hesitate, spears him right through the face, kills him instantly on the spot.
Vengeance served, I guess. But what about the battle? Did this turn the tide for Cao's vanguard?
You'd think maybe it would, right? Such a dramatic act.
Yeah.
But no, it actually didn't. Despite Xiahou Dun killing Cao Jing, Gao Shun manages to rally his troops. They launch a counterattack. And Cao Cao's forces, perhaps shaken or just outnumbered at that point, are utterly defeated in that engagement.
So Xiahou Dun's incredible act didn't save the day tactically.
No. His brother Xiahou Yuan actually has to rescue him. The other commanders, Lu Qian and Li Dian, they're forced to retreat all the way back to Jubei. It was a really costly failure for the vanguard.
Wow, what a turn of events. So Gao Shun wins the field against the vanguard. What does he do next? Does he go back to attacking Liu Bei? And where's Lu Bu in all this?
Gao Shun, definitely emboldened by this victory, yeah, he turns his attention right back to Liu Bei.
No rest for Liu Bei.
None at all. And almost immediately, Liu Bu's main army arrives on the scene as well, so the pressure just escalates massively.
The big boss arrives.
Right. Liu Bu then divides his forces. He coordinates with Zhang Liao and Gao Shun to launch a 3-pronged attack on the camps Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei had set up outside the city.
Hitting them from multiple sides.
Exactly. Just shows how fast things shift, how dangerous these alliances and conflicts were. Liu Bei's position is still incredibly precarious, even though Cao Cao's help has technically started to arrive, or tried to.